Hi guys, I decided that and maybe it'd be a good idea to throw in another example of how you could utilize that flow chart in your book that we talked about earlier. So I'm going to talk just about an example that sometimes, like I said, I work at Children's Services, so this is something that, worst case scenario that we do see. Um, so, if a client were to come into your office and say she's going to continue to use drugs around her kids and the agency can't tell her what to do and she's not going to listen to you and not going to work with children's services, not going to work a case plan, not going to attend court hearings, all that kind of stuff. She states she's going to take her kids home, no one can stop her. She can shoot heroin right in front of them, whatever, I don't know. That's a time maybe you could utilize this decision making flow chart. So you know that her kids have been dirty, they've been hungry, they seem neglected, so it's clear to you that her drug use is probably affecting their care. So first things first, you'd want to determine if anyone is in immediate danger of serious harm. So most likely in a case like this, Children's Services would file at minimum for court-ordered supervision, meaning that's in essence they mandate mom to work with the agency and follow a case plan. I never really think of a situation like this as being an ethical dilemma, but in reality it is. I mean, it's another one of these situations that we deal with on a somewhat regular basis where you don't really realize what you're doing at the time. We work through the steps similarly as to what's in your book. First, I would decide, whether or not this is something I'm solely left to solve on my own. In this situation, it would be no. I'd be consulting at minimum with my supervisor. If the situation was bad enough that the agency was looking at placement, I would be consulting with our foster care and adoption unit to get them looking for someplace for these kids to go. That would be what the book describes as including your relevant stakeholders. So at that point, we'd identify values, rules, policies, standards that affect the decision. In this case, by involving this mom in the court system, I'm in essence taking away her right to self-determination. That's probably a minimum. She's made a choice to not follow through with her case plan and work with the agency, and I'm saying, oh, wrong choice, right? So after we consider what all we might affect and who, we would want to make sure we're not taking too big of a risk or doing what maybe isn't in the child's best interest. We'd have to weigh the losses is what I'm trying to say. So, is maybe what we do going to cause a bigger problem than what's already there? So we need to think about what happens if we lose in court. What if we go to court and they don't grant us the supervision that we want? And so we've surely lost all ground with this family at that point, right? So if we continue, we then want to rank these issues, in order of importance, like your book talks about. This is usually something I would do subconsciously, it's not as difficult as it might sound, You could use Lowenberg's hierarchy and say that, obviously our client's need for autonomy is outweighed by the agency's need to ensure the child's safety. A decision like this we don't make lightly. So we would have other stakeholders involved. We would talk to the prosecutor, for our agency about, could we even get this supervision in court? Do we have enough? Is what we're asking too much? And then at a certain point, you have to take everyone's information in and together make a decision. So you're not always going to be right, but, I say it a lot, you're going to learn from every decision that you make. And it's going to affect the decisions that you make in the future. So we'll talk more about maybe a specific example of the hierarchy in the next video. Okay?